Before we get into the latest edition of our NFL Power Rankings here at Chat Sports, it's AP poll style. Everyone votes on them, and then we average out the rankings. I want to hear from you guys. Shout out your favorite team and where you think they should be ranked in the NFL right now. Go do that before we get today's show started right now. Worst to first, you know the drill. Number 32, not quite unanimous. The Carolina Panthers, they just don't look like a good football team at all. Neither do the number 31 ranked team, the New England Patriots. You got Bill Belichick kind of throwing shade at Gerard Mayo a little bit. Feels like that. Whether that is more out of accuracy or some bitterness or a bit of both. Either way, Mayo called his own team soft. That doesn't normally go over that great. The now Deshaun Watson-less Cleveland Browns check in at number 30. Very curious what their quarterback plan is going to be with Watson out, and we'll deal with the long-term ramifications of that injury later on here at NFL Daily. The Tennessee Titans, no surprise, they're number 29, the 4 one-win teams at the very bottom of our NFL Power Rankings. Levis, Rudolph didn't matter. The Titans offense just isn't very good right now. Number 28, the Jacksonville Jags. Hey, they haven't exactly beaten the best of the best so far this season. Maybe they can right the ship. They got, I think, some positive momentum coming out of London. They got a pretty tough schedule, though, coming up. Number 27, the Las Vegas Raiders. They started Gardner Minshew, then went to Aiden O'Connell. Now Aiden O'Connell is hurt, so it'll be Gardner Minshew again. See if we see Desmond Ridder. I have my doubts there. But the Raiders are just kind of treading water near the bottom of the NFL Power Rankings. Another not high expectation going into the year, and haven't even met those probably. The New York Giants are number 26 after they got their butts kicked by Philadelphia. Daniel Jones is still searching for a home game touchdown pass. He hasn't done it in a very, very long time. NFL record length between them, by the way, for a starter, which is pretty unbelievable to think about. If you are the Giants, if you're Brian Dable, if you're Joe Shane, is it time to bench Daniel Jones and just try Drew Lock and even avoid the injury guarantees on Daniel Jones' contract? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know if the ad comes here on YouTube. That question when we asked earlier. Go vote. Should the Giants bet Daniel Jones? Y for yes, N for no. Number 25, the Miami Dolphins. In theory, we're going to get Tua back this week, and boy, does Miami need him on the football field. Now, please be safe and don't get another concussion. We beg it. Everyone does of you there, Tua. But that Dolphins offense has been bad without him. Like, straight up terrible. You can't get Hill or Waddle going. Hopefully, Tua's return benefits them. Number 24, the Los Angeles Rams. They took care of business against the Raiders. They're kind of starting to get healthier, kind of like Miami to an extent too, but they've got a long way to go in the NFC. Number 23, the New York Jets. Poor Devontae Adams. Loses against the Steelers, gets traded, loses against the Steelers in back-to-back weeks. Happens, but is very, very rare in the NFL. So they got issues. The receiving core is better. The talent's there. The overall team is not playing remotely good enough. They got to start winning now, or that regime's going to get fired. Number 22, the New Orleans Saints. What is going on? They began the year 2-0. Expectations were high. Loss. They went from being they could be a sneaky surprise playoff team to, okay, they're like 2 more losses away from like this season being cooked, which it's been a complete 180 there. Injury is a huge factor, but that defense isn't playing well. That was supposed to be a huge part of that entire team under Dennis Allen. Number 21, the Arizona Cardinals. They're just feisty enough. I don't really think that personal foul penalty should have been called, but is what it is. Stone's shaking his head. He didn't like it either. Did you have the Chargers last night? Is that why? Yeah, there we go. We figured it out there. The Cardinals are a feisty team. I don't think they're quite there with an overall roster talent, but I think they are an ascending team year over year from this new regime. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It is available in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. They have the Flex Play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of your picks doesn't hit. They also do what I call their free squares. It's Anthony Edwards, more than a half point. I mean, come on. That's a no-brainer. All right, with my boy Chugs on his Houston picks, Alperen Şengün, more than 30.5 points, and Jalen Green, more than 21 points. Points and boards, by the way, for Şengün. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play 5. Go download the app today. Use code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to get the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Indy at number 20. I feel like this is the most obvious 9-win team or 8-win team in football. They're kind of, even their point differential is like right about even. So they're a little bit lower as a result because I think you're going to have some teams above them kind of fall down. But I do think Indy's going to be right on that playoff bubble the entire season. So too probably is going to be Denver. The Denver Broncos check in at number 19 on this list. They've found ways to win some football games. That defense is good, by the way, and that's going to give them a real chance in a open AFC. Speaking of the AFC, it's another AFC team. Number 18, the Los Angeles Chargers. They dropped a little bit because of an unfortunate loss against the Cardinals. Indy, Denver, LA, all these teams kind of with 3 wins or so, I think they view themselves having a real chance at making a run in the AFC playoff picture. Number 17, the Dallas Cowboys. They did not hurt anybody because they were on bye. Then they get to play the 49ers. Dallas, of all the 500 teams, even close to 500 teams, I kind of believe in them the least. They are not. That 3-3 record is deceptive. They've gotten their butts kicked by good teams pretty consistently. They get another good one, I think, against the 49ers. Now, I think most people don't have much faith in Dallas. Of the teams that have been okay so far this year, good so far this year, who do you think is the biggest fraud in the NFL right now? The Saints were granted to this after week 2. They have shown themselves as that. But right now, who do you think it is? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 16, the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 3-4. They've got a couple big wins in a row. They have to do what they do almost every year. Start the year terrible and figure things out. The Giants and Browns games could have been easier wins. They weren't quite, but at least they picked up wins in the last 2 weeks. Number 15, the Seattle Seahawks. They did just take down the Atlanta Falcons. There was a big enough gap between those two teams in previous iterations that they did not catch up to them. Plus, you're at the point where you're never going to have the 1-to-1 ratio, right? Seattle, I think, could still make a run in the NFC. They are technically the NFC West leaders, for now at least. The first of 4 NFC North teams, all in the top 15, the Chicago Bears at number 14. They're 4-2. The schedule hasn't been daunting yet so far. That's okay. They've won a bunch of games. The 49ers are number 13. They're banged up right now. But good news, San Francisco. You get your yearly beat down to the Dallas Cowboys to right the ship. What a perfect get-right game for the Niners in prime time. The Pittsburgh Steelers jump up to number 12. We know what this Pittsburgh team is. They're going to win 9 games at minimum each and every single year. And we'll see if the overall quarterback play, the overall offense is good enough to have them actually win a playoff game this time. Now, if you have not already, please subscribe. Get free NFL videos, college football, NBA videos as well. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 11, the Atlanta Falcons. They are 4-3. They're kind of hanging around in position in what could be a fun end-of-season run for the NFC South with the Falcons and Bucs. We'll get to them kind of jockeying for position there. Number 10, the Philadelphia Eagles, 4-2. I have some concerns about them. The offense is still a little bit too much. Saquon, run wild, go balls to A.J. Brown. They have not got Devonta Smith going consistently. Down Dallas Goedert for a little bit. There's still something lacking from that offense to make it a true, elite contender offense. I think outside the top 7 teams, there's some real flaws that I think are valid. Like, okay, there's a big butt you're dealing with there. Number 9, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as maybe they end up winning the NFC South. They kind of made it a bit more competitive against the Ravens. That was almost a weird game. Up 10, a bunch of points unanswered, late rally. Tampa-Atlanta is going to be a really fun battle for the NFC South this season. The Commanders are number 8. They are 5-2. They did move up our power rankings. I still have doubts about this team. And the reason being is you think about what they've done, who they've beaten. They beat the Giants, the Bengals in their weird September nonsense, Arizona, Cleveland, Carolina. It's not like they've really played anybody. Now, the Bears game is a big challenge for both teams, prove that they're contenders. They also still get the Giants one more time, the Titans, and the Saints. So if they can just beat the teams they're supposed to beat, it's Tennessee too, they should be a playoff team. They might just end up being that, they beat up on all the bad teams, lost to the good teams, win the division, and then keep the NFC East cycle continuing where the defending champ can never win it back-to-back years. The Green Bay Packers, number 7 on this list. Jordan Love made some incredible throws in that football game, man. He is a talented quarterback. Green Bay is going to be in a dogfight to make the playoffs, but I think at minimum, NFC North's getting 3 teams in. 4 is... It's possible, and if it's, this division has, 2 teams with at least 4 wins already this season, it's also challenging because you're going to have to take some losses against each other. So I think 3 is extremely doable, if not even likely right now. 4, though, is, that might be pushing it. So let me know, how many NFC North teams end up making the playoffs this year? The Buffalo Bills at number 6. Welcome to Buffalo, Amari Cooper. Bills, again, took care of business. I like this team. I'm glad they went out and got a Cooper because they could be contenders in the AFC. I think there's a couple of clear-cut contenders in each team. The top 7 had a pretty big drop-off between 7 and 8, which I think is valid. As the Houston Texans check in at number 5, the ground game at times is not quite what I'm looking for. It definitely has been better the past 2 weeks. I think even this past week it was better too for Joe Mixon and company. They definitely missed him. Still kind of leaning a bit heavily on some explosive plays. The down and efficiency isn't great. You almost beat Green Bay with C.J. Stroud going 10 of 21 for 86 yards. Probably a good sign long term because he's not going to do that every week. The Baltimore Ravens, number 4 on this list, as they have gotten hot. Started the year 0-2 and have won 5 straight games. That offense is dynamic. That is working with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That duo on the ground just continues to be a nightmare for opposing teams to try to stop. Tampa had Vita Vea back. They ran for 244 yards again. Very, very impressive. Lamar had 5 touchdowns against 5 incompletions. You normally win games when that happens. Number 3, the Minnesota Vikings. Narrow loss against our number 2 team, the Detroit Lions. Minnesota 3, Detroit 2. I think that's fair. 1 loss, and it was a narrow loss for Minnesota. It's a good football team right there. Both teams, they're going to be jockeying with Green Bay, too, for NFC North supremacy and the best division in football. But unanimous, to nobody's surprise, the Chiefs, the last undefeated team. It's kind of crazy. If I had told you going into the year that Patrick Mahomes would have 6 passing touchdowns against 8 interceptions, you would have went, wow, are they 2-4? No, they're undefeated. Welcome to Chiefs football. It's frustrating for 31 other NFL teams. But congrats to KC. So grade our power rankings, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show.